Sounds good. All right. Welcome, everyone. It looks like we've got quite a few folks trickling in, so we're going to give everybody another minute or two. So welcome on this Tuesday evening. Thank you so much for joining us. In the interim, if you don't mind putting on the chat, where are you logging in from? And we'd love to give you a shout out as well. So for those that are just trickling in, feel free to put on the chat right below in the panel there where you're logging in from. We appreciate it. It looks like we've got people from Maine, Wisconsin. We got New York in the house. We have Texas. Excellent. We've got Wisconsin. Fantastic. Alabama. How cool. Thank you. Houston, Texas. Right on, right on, right on. Thank you for taking time out of your day and checking in with us as we, again, this is our third installment of our fall series, if you will, for our community webinar. So we're excited about, again, getting a chance to share our myViewBoard software, and at the same time, our everything that we've got going on when it comes to our community as well. So we've got a lot of great announcements and great things to share. So it looks like we're going to give it another couple of seconds here. And excellent. All right. All right. So and it's just so that everybody knows, again, all of this will be recorded. If you are one of those that needs to take notes, feel free. I don't want to stop you, but I would love for you to just sit back and get a chance to really hear what we've got in store for you all. And at the same time, get a chance to see what we're doing in our community, and also provide you with great resources that we'll be putting into the chat there. So that way everybody gets a chance to take a look at your time. And then we also have a drawing that will take place today, if you will, during our session. And we'll be doing this drawing, and it's all related towards the engagement aspect of it. So within our community platform, we have a banner announcement. And so we love to get your feedback when it comes to the lesson plans that we're deploying. And so at the end of the day, by you putting your comment, that automatically qualifies you to get a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card. And if we hit a certain benchmark, guess what? We'll double that. So we'll get a chance to run 2 drawings, if you will, instead of 1. So again, very excited about that. All right. Well, I'm going to do quick intros, and then I'm going to go ahead and navigate you with some news and announcements. And then I will get a chance to introduce our presenter, who's got an amazing lesson plan in store for you all. My name is Ruben Caputo, and I will be moderating this session. And I work for ViewSonic. I'm the marketing manager for the education team. And so delighted to have you all. And again, delighted to also share my calling in just a few moments. But I'd like to share that all of this is possible because of your ask, your requests. So we want to thank you for that. So again, your interest, your curiosities, your wish list, all of that becomes our top priority. And so we want to make sure that we deliver in that. I do want to introduce our presenter in a short second here, but we've got some news and announcements that we'd like to navigate you before going into that. So let me go ahead and share my screen if that's okay. Thank you so much. All right. And so that you know, we will be having polls that will be coming in, and that's there for you to interact with us so that we get to know you a little bit more. Does everybody see my screen okay? Haley, is it a thumbs up? You can see it okay? Okay, excellent. So what I'm navigating everybody right now before starting is our ViewSonic educator community, what landing page, if you will. So this is our website. So you'll always see updated information here. So you'll see our banners that we've got some different sites, if you will, to visit. So this is our community. And for those that haven't signed up for our community, the action is here for you to join. So that way you get all the news and announcements, and rest assured with ahead of time. So that way you can start planning around your schedule, if you will. We have essentially other opportunities for you to interact with. And the big one is something that we're looking to propose and actually launch very quickly is our ambassador program. So if you're one of those folks that, hey, I know ViewSonic, I use the software, I do it on a daily basis, well, this is fantastic. We are looking for you essentially to get rewarded while you're doing the work that you're doing and to engage with us in our community platform. So there's a lot of great levels and tiers, wonderful prizes that you can obtain by just doing exactly what you're doing and just putting it into our community platform so that we can celebrate you and at the same time have the opportunity to interact with folks around the nation and around, quite honestly, around the world too, since this is a global platform. Now, I'm going to switch gears for a minute and take you to our community platform and just share. And again, I'm navigating the now. Later on throughout the programming, I will put this on the chat. So again, don't worry if you are trying to write this down. This is just to navigate you. But I want to guide your attention. This is the platform, if you will. And so on the left side, you're going to see all sorts of navigation points. I'm not going to take too much time and go through each single one of them. Instead, I'm going to take you right down to the form section under USA and Canada. And if you go there on the very top, you're going to see events. And so under the events, if you click on today's date, which is November 14th, there's an option there for you to incorporate your thoughts. And so that right there is your ticket, your entry, if you will, when it comes to participating in the into our drawing, if you will, for a $25 Amazon gift card. So please share your thoughts in today's lesson. Again, any feedback is appreciated, so we appreciate that. So go ahead and do that if you like during an intermission component of the lesson or towards the end. I will put little helpful chat reminders, if you will, so that way you have the active links available to you. All right, I am done with my announcements. So without further ado, it is a pleasure, and please on the chat, give loud emoticon clapping hands to Miss Haley Hunt, who is my colleague, and quite honestly, just a pleasure to work with her and the knowledge that she holds when it comes to myViewBoard. So Haley, you take it away. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ruben. So welcome everyone. If this is your first time joining us for a webinar, thank you so much. If you are returning, great to see you again. We are approaching Thanksgiving time, so hopefully you had a good Halloween with your kids, and now we're going to go into the great thankful time right now with Thanksgiving fast approaching. So of course, I love fall, so I had to decorate my classroom, my virtual classroom that is, here with some pumpkins and all these great different types of leaves and graphics. So I'm going to be showing off, as you could see, the title was about ViewSonic Originals. So what I'm going to be doing today is walking you through ViewSonic's myViewBoard whiteboard. And we're going to be going through some of the tools as well as some of the features that we have available for all of you. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we're going to go, first of all, we're going to do an introduction to tools. So this is the third installment of our fall webinar series. So if you weren't able to join us in those previous ones, not a worry. I will be doing a brief overview of what that looked like when we got together last time. But this is going to allow us to get used to the tools, feel a little comfortable so that we can work on more enhanced and advanced features as well. Then once we feel a little more comfortable, we're going to go into some practical lesson planning. We're going to practice it. We're going to see how all of these features and tools come together. Of course, my favorite thing that we always do in all of these webinars, you probably know if you've attended any in the past, is doing a brief game time. So I think this is great to check for understanding, a great tool if you want to copy it for your classrooms as well. But we're just going to test your knowledge at the end. And then at the end, just as Ruben talked about, we're going to have a little bit more with our educator community and a chance to win something fun. So If you have any questions, please use the Q&A chat box and one of the members from the ViewSonic team will be there to help you. So let's get started. We've already gone and looked at community. Fantastic. We're going to get into the introduction to tools. So at this point, you probably will getting another poll question, but I want to start to think about how myViewBoard Whiteboard will work for you. I'm going to give you a brief overview just in case you're unfamiliar with some of the tools. We're going to be looking at the layout. So once you go into Whiteboard, you will notice there are many different types of toolbars and settings at the top. So what I'm going to be doing is showing you a couple of main tools that we're going to be using. So of course, Whiteboard is a mainly annotation tool. So I'm going to use the pen tool right now. I'm going to navigate by clicking on it, and I'm going to use this yellow laser pen to direct your attention. So the main items that we're going to be looking at today are down here at the bottom, the main toolbar. We're also going to be looking at the floating toolbar, which is on the left hand of my screen, and then also background management today. So as you've noticed, I already have a lot of fun graphics and colors, and all of that is being done with background management. So there's going to be more on that later, but I want to get you a little bit used to the tools. So in the past sessions, we've talked about how to use the pen tools, how to navigate using infinite canvas, the eraser tools, shapes, etc. So one thing that I would like to start off with now is I can use Whiteboard across multiple devices and multiple files. Because we have something called an open learning format, that is the way that our files within Whiteboard get to be saved. Now, I have all of my files saved in the cloud drive. So Whiteboard is available and it's cross-compatible with other devices and operating systems. So right now I'm using a Windows Surface Pro on my laptop. I am using Whiteboard for Windows. So that means in my use case, I'm using a mouse to navigate. I'm going to be using the left click, right click, and also the scroll wheel, and also dragging. If you're using a ViewBoard within your classroom, you are going to be able to use hand gestures. So for the time being, I am going to be using a mouse. I will let you know that when you do click on an item, I'm just using my mouse to do that. But one of the great things about the main toolbar is that we have a two-click function. So by clicking on an object again, pulls up more options. So the hand icon is what we call the infinite canvas. It allows me to navigate all across the screen. So to demonstrate how this would look, if you're unfamiliar, this is going to be a brand new great tool just for you that you can use in your arsenal. So I am using my mouse, I am dragging and clicking across the screen. Now I can also use the scroll wheel to go in and out. But if you're using it on a ViewBoard, you can use the hand gestures just the same, do the pinch out or pinch in to zoom in and out. Now, going back to that double click feature. So again, I am using the hand icon. By clicking on it, that allows me to select the tool. By clicking it one more time, allows me to pop up a map. So this map is going to pop up and it's going to show me where I am in relation to the overall canvas. So let's go ahead and just click it again. Perfect. It's hiding from me. So here we go. So this is an overview of what that map would look like. That means that I get to go wherever I need to. And if I ever need to reset, we do have a reset button. It's going to be the circle with an arrow. By clicking it, it's going to bring me back to where I originally was. That way I don't get lost. So this is very helpful if you have students who are wanting to interact with the board and little fingers are swiping across the board. They're going anywhere and everywhere, but you can always go back to where you want. So another thing that I will be using is this floating toolbar to navigate. So I've already been using these left and right arrows, but I will also be showing off how to add new pages and some of these other tools. So let me go ahead and click on the arrow to advance. One of the other features that we have is something called the magic box. So I'm pointing at it down at the bottom of the main toolbar with the yellow arrow. Now you can call this Mary Poppins purse, you can call this an Amazon package, really whatever makes you happy. The reason why this magic box is so magical is because you get more tools. And this is something that I'm going to be talking about a little bit more as well. You have that cloud drive access, like I mentioned earlier. So you are able to integrate your cloud accounts, whatever it may be, Google Drive, Dropbox. I use OneDrive personally, but all of my files are able to be saved within Whiteboard. So that means that I can work on my computer, go into the office the next day, and sign into Whiteboard on one of the view boards and pull up the same exact file that I was working on at home. So this just provides a little bit more flexibility so you can spend some time away from the classroom if you need to work on something additional, but also allows you to go across different classrooms and learning centers. So Magic Boxes is very helpful. You have many tools. I'm going to be showing off some of what we talked about in past webinars as well. But to give you a preview, we have sticky notes, we have math and science tools, which I will be using the dice in our game later. We also have a document camera available. So you can use whatever camera you have hooked up to either your laptop, if that's what you're using for Whiteboard, or even your ViewBoard as well. Another handy feature is the embedded YouTube videos. So these are going to be educational based videos that actually don't have any advertisements. So that way you can stay within your lessons all directly in Whiteboard without having to go to youtube.com, having to scroll through many ads or different types of videos that you don't want to show your students. Here you just play the video and that's all you have to worry about. We also have image search. So image search, all of the images will populate once I put in a search. I have a quick video that will demonstrate all of this. Now at the end are going to be more of those engagement tools. Those engagement tools are pop quiz, polls, and throw. That's really going to allow your students to become more engaged with the lesson. This webinar will not be focusing on it. However, during the summer, we did also have a webinar that was all about lesson enhancing engagement tools such as pop quiz and poll. So if you're interested in seeing that, we do have it on our YouTube channel. Or if you have any further questions, please feel free to put that in the Q&A. So that is Magic Box. But let's go over one more tool. So this is just a quick refresh. Again, if you weren't able to join us in the past sessions, there's another tool beyond the main toolbar and floating toolbar, and that's what we call the adorning menu. So the adorning menu is exactly what this square image is showing here and what I'm circling with the yellow laser pen. Now, this is going to be an additional tool set that allows you to interact with objects. And the way that you would get to the adorning menu is actually using the select tool. So the select tool is going to be down on the main toolbar right next to the hand icon or infinite canvas. And it's that dotted box with the blue arrow. That select tool allows me to select objects such as text, images, videos, but also shapes or any other item that you have on your screen. So in this example, I have a circle that I've used with the shape pen, which is again down here. I've inserted a circle. I've gone and used the select tool to select that object, and this adorning menu will pop up. There are many different tools here, as you can see, so I will not be going into all of them. I'll allow you to explore on your own later on at the end of this webinar. But for now, there are going to be a few key ones that I want to point out. The first one here, the green trash can, is just that. It's a trash can. It will delete the object. Another very important one is this red lock. The red lock will actually lock the object. So when I show you some of the example lessons, you'll see why this is important. But think about it in a way that if you're having students come up to the board, work on lessons with you, or even if you're making your own lessons, there are going to be times where you don't want objects to be moved around. For example, I will go ahead and select the select object tool. Behind here, I actually have this image locked. As you can see, there is a red lock in the bottom left-hand corner of this white rectangle. That means that I can't accidentally move it around. No matter how hard I try, I am clicking with my mouse, I am moving it around, it's staying put. So that's why the lock is very helpful, especially if you want students to come up and engage with the board. Some other things we're going to be looking at is this yellow page icon. This is the copy. So you may be thinking, that's great, where's the paste option? I am going to show you down here. back of the floating toolbar is a brown clipboard. That is going to be your paste option. So always remember, select an object. You can use the yellow page icon to copy, and then you'll go down to the floating toolbar and use the brown clipboard to paste. Of course, if you're using it on a computer, you can still use your keyboard shortcuts as well. But if you're in the classroom, you don't have access to that and you're just using the ViewBoard, you can always access through the adorning menu. Now, there are a few other items that we're going to be looking at once we go into the lessons. But now I want to take a brief moment to show you some quick summaries of what we were looking at in the past. Then we're going to get into all the goodness of looking at how we can incorporate all of these great tools into creating more engaging lessons. So to start off, here's a quick example of how the adorning menu could be used. We've used the tools such as lock, we've used copy, and now it's going to play. So let me just click on this video right here. I have it hidden. Let me start it over for you. So here I've had the adorning menu and I'm creating a counting activity. I'm using that image search that I showed you earlier. I'm resizing the image using the adorning menu to do an infinite copy. I'm using annotation tools like the pen tool, and now just using the select tool to move it. So this is a great way to copy images very quickly and create a very fun lesson using all the tools available. So let's move on to the next one. This was all about Magic Box in this lesson. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Let me restart it. In this video, I'm going to be showing off some more additional features within Magic Box. So within Magic Box, we showed how you can insert YouTube images and also the image search. To show you how this would work, let's take a view. So here I'm navigating to Magic Box, going to YouTube. I've looked up a video about finches. I'm going back to Magic Box to do an image search. The golden finch is the ViewSonic mascot. If you didn't already know, it's very pretty, very colorful. But this is another way that you can use Magic Box to enhance your lessons. So last one to get you caught up to speed before we go a little bit further. I'm going to engage with the video here. I'm gonna get it played. We have a little bit of a delay. I'm sorry about that. I will get it to play in just a second. So here was our special lesson all about math and science tools, and this was specifically for Halloween, which was very fun. This is how you can use the math and science tools within Magic Box to use dice to increase your different types of lesson plans when it comes to creative writing. So here I've shown how you can use the dice. You can change the text, you can add images, you can change the color of the dice even, but all of this is to help you create a fun and exciting type of way to do a roll a story, for example. This is going to allow you to have more options, and it's just a fun, engaging way. And if you invite students up one at a time, they can create their own story. So that's just all of the great things that you can do with Whiteboard. There are so many different tools available to you that we've been able to go over with the webinars. And we're so grateful that you were able to join us today. What we're going to be doing is going a little bit further even. So at this point, there probably will be another poll coming your way. And I'll take a brief second to allow you to answer that poll. Awesome. So now that we're all caught up to speed, let's look at what lesson planning can look like now that we have all of these tools available to us. So one of the first tools that we have available is called ViewSonic Originals, and it is a great place to get some graphics, background images, and also pre-created lessons. So you can either go directly here for inspiration, or you can also create your own lessons. So for example, this is an example of a ViewSonic Originals that we're going to draw inspiration from today. And I'm going to show you some brief tools that we've already been utilizing throughout this webinar and in that brief overview to show you how you can enhance either your own lessons that you've already created in the past. So these can even be your own files from different software companies. So we have the ability to use Magic Box to import either your own lessons that you've created in the past. So either they are OLF files created in myViewBoard Whiteboard, or they could be notebook files or even flip chart files. So wherever you're coming from, we have a way for you to get started with us and be able to start engaging with your students. So this is an example of a file type that you can actually import without having to do too much work on your own, or you can use it as inspiration for enhancing your current lessons. So this is a space series, and I really like this because we have very engaging backgrounds, we have fun, colorful images that really grab attention, but this is a great example of how you can include YouTube in your lessons. So for example, you could have this YouTube lesson ready to go. It'll be ready, and because we're using the educational form, we're going to use Crash Course Kids. So whatever you think of, I really like Side Kids also. I think that's a lot of fun content for students, depending on the age range. You can really find anything from that K through 12 appropriate age range. So now that we have the YouTube video, all you have to do, I will show you one more time. I'm going to move over with Infinite Canvas, bring the video over. I'm going to go down to Magic Box, and I'm going to go to YouTube. So if I look in Crash Course Science, we're going to get a lot of videos that come up. So you have all of these different great options. So you can talk about evolutionary history. You can do Crash Course Biology. All of these are great options, and all you have to do is, let's do History of Science. Go ahead and double click that in, and now it's going to pop up into your file. And so now you can save it, and you can always go back to it whenever you are ready to show this with your students. You can even have the annotation tools and have your students take notes on the board as you watch the video, or you can pause it and ask questions along the way. So that is one great enhancing tool, and it's already a great inspiration. Now, another inspirational point you can use that's just using a very basic tool is using the Annotation Pen. So you can invite students to come up and engage with these different types of images and graphics, and you can put together, in this instance, we have all of the planets. So you can put all the planets together, you can arrange them appropriately, and then you can include white text boxes and allow students to come up and choose their pen. So if you've never seen how the pen tool can be customized, let me show that to you now. So I'm going to click on the pen, I'm going to navigate to the marker, and I can choose any one of these colors. Another way that you can customize is you can click on this addition sign, and now I can use an eyedrop tool to pick a color of my choice. So let's see, I'm going to use, I want to use, no, not blue. I like this light color. So I'll select that, and then you can have students write on the board. Now, if it's too small, this is where the Infinite Canvas can become very handy. You can either, again, if you're using it on the board, pinch with your fingers, or you can scroll using the mouse wheel. Now you can navigate to the specific planet, and now there is a larger text box for the students to begin writing. Now, as you can see, this pen is way too large. So we can always use the undo button, navigate back to the pen, change the thickness, and begin writing. Now I am writing with my mouse, which is not the best penmanship, but here we are. So with that being said, you can have many students come up to the board. You can have many writing at the same time, but if you want to clear it for the next class, a great tool is being able to go to the eraser icon. If you click on the eraser icon, again, we have that 2-click feature. There is going to be a half-open trash can. Now this is going to allow me to clear all strokes without getting rid of any objects that I've added to the screen. So this is a quick and easy way, so you don't have to go one by one scrubbing with the eraser or your palm, but you can just clear all strokes, and now it's brand new for the next student. Let's move on to the next idea. Another great way to add engagement for your students, what we saw also earlier with the coin counting game, was to be able to use objects and move them around. So this is where the adorning menu will come in handy. So let me demonstrate how that might work. So for first of all, we're going to navigate to the select tool. We're going to click on it once, and we're going to go over to these marbles. So in this game here, we're going to arrange the temperature from high to low based on color. So in this case, we would assume that red is the hottest possible and dark blue would be the coldest possible. Something that you may notice once I have this object selected is that in the left-hand corner, there is another object. That object is the movable lock. So again, to show you an example of how the adorning menu works, I'm going to go ahead and click on that object to bring the adorning menu up. And now you can see earlier we talked about the trash can, the lock tool, but one more we didn't talk about yet was this movable lock. And why this is important is if you're having students move around pieces on the board, you might get into an instance where you accidentally grab a corner instead of the actual object. So if I wanted to move this around, as you can see, I have access to these 4 arrows. These 4 corners allow me to resize. But in something like this, where we have a designated circle for each marble, we want to make sure that it doesn't get resized. So I'm going to use the undo button to bring us back to the original size. I'm going to select the object one more time and now show you how movable lock will work. So movable lock now gets rid of those arrows, and I can move the object around without being able to resize it. So this just makes it a lot easier. One thing you may be thinking is you don't want those blue arrows or guiding lines to be available. A simple way to do that is to move in from prepare mode, which we are in right now, to present mode. So that's going to be down here. Let me go ahead and get my laser pen out. It's going to be the green chalkboard icon with the person in front. That is going to navigate us to the present mode. Present mode just makes it a little bit easier, gets rid of a little bit of those editing tools, especially if you're having students come up to the board. Now by putting in present mode, we are focusing directly on the content available. And when I go to select the item, now I can just move it around without having those guiding lines. So that's just a quick trick to give that to you all. Again, as you can see, I'm not able to resize the object, which is exactly what we want, which is perfect. And even if I try to accidentally click on that movable lock, I cannot access the adorning menu. So it takes away a lot of accidental mistakes that may come from having engaging activities. So that's using the select tool to access the adorning menu and using movable lock. Let's see what else we have. This is another type of lesson that we have available to demonstrate some of the great features within Whiteboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put us back into prepare mode. Again, I'm pointing at it with the yellow laser pen. This is going to allow us to navigate back to prepare mode. You'll notice that the exit, the Whiteboard name will appear, and also my ViewBoard account name will reappear right as I click this icon. So now that we're back into the prepare mode, I am going to show you some great features and a great example of how you can use this type of lesson plan to talk about the water cycle. So let's talk about the water cycle. One thing that you might notice right off the bat here is that you have the ability to add GIFs. So just like how you can go to image search, you can add images, you can add different types of tools, you can add videos, really anything that just makes the lesson a little bit more fun. So in this example here, there are some moving images, and it's telling us to click on these dots. So you might be wondering why that would be important. So this is a great example of how we can actually get people together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the select tool, and on the select tool, we're going to navigate to what this is talking about. So you're going to notice 2 things. There is going to be a yellow dotted rectangle around this entire box. You see that it has the lock icon, so I can't move it around, but there is another icon there with a number on it. So this is a really fun and very advanced lesson tool, but it might make it fun. So what you notice is by clicking that, it's taken me to a new slide. So that took us to slide 17. We were previously on slide 16. So this means that you can put many pages together and have either a choose your own adventure with students, or you can navigate them based on whatever the lesson is for the day. So in this example for the water cycle, let's talk about precipitation, for example. So I'm going to go to precipitation. I'm going to click on the slide and it's going to navigate us directly to slide 18. So that's very exciting because now we're focusing directly on the topic that you chose. So this could be something that you choose or you invite students to choose on your behalf. So now we have this great video of what precipitation might be, and there are specific questions here. Another way that you can use this type of hyperlink tool is here. So you can have an answer tool that is going to navigate you to an image. So it's popped up on my other presentation, but I'm actually able to hyperlink an image to give me an answer. So that's a really fun way to use this. And this feature is called hyperlink. So let's go back to where we were looking at this earlier, and I'll show you how you can do this on your own. So I'm going to navigate back to here. Again, every time that we want to access the adorning menu, we're going to use the select button. The select button allows me to, again, select the object. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unlock it to show you the difference about what this would look like if we didn't have it locked. I'm going to go ahead and undo that, just move it back to where we want it. But I'm going to show you how to hyperlink now. So we've already gone through the green trash can, the red lock, the movable lock. Down on the second row underneath the red lock is this green link. Now this is how you're going to hyperlink. So let's take a look at some of the options available. So back when we were looking at the answer that popped up, this is the file type that we looked at. So you can actually choose any file and you can add the link here and you'll be able to answer or create your own answer file just like as we saw. Of course, you can hyperlink with an actual web URL, just like in most cases, and have it available as well. You can do a text string, you can do audio, and the other thing that we've already looked at is how to use pages from your Canvas. So when you enter the page number, something very cool about this is that it will already know how many pages you have in your file. So if I wanted to, I can change this at any time, and it will always refer back to whatever page I am correlating it to. So in this case, let's say I want to change it to page 8. To make sure that it's applied, we're going to hit this closed blue link. Now it's changed. So to show you the change, let's go ahead and test it out. I'm going to click on the 8, and now it's taken us back to page 8. Of course, you can always go back down to the floating toolbar. And in this navigational plane, you can also click on this box here with a number. Clicking on that box is going to bring you to an overview of all of the pages. And sure enough, we are on page 8. So this is very fun. It helps with organization. I also like the idea of the build your own adventure or choose your own adventure for students because it can be slightly different for each class. So I think hyperlinking is a very fun hidden tool that you all now know. So again, clicking on it is going to give you the option to hyperlink or not. So I think that's very fun. I am going to take a brief break right now. And while I do so, I believe there might be another poll coming your way. But let's just think about all the different use cases and please let us know if you have any questions. So I'll be right back. All right. Awesome, everyone. Okay, hopefully you got a chance to answer that poll. So let's move on. One other thing that you can do with these types of lessons is actually provide direct correlated content for all of your different learners. So you can choose these questions based on each class level or grade level that you're teaching. And really it's to help with anything that you are trying to use for your lesson or talk about. But I also do like the hyperlinking, especially for differentiated learning. You're going to hear many experts talk about different ways to engage students. These are just some of the tools that I find to be very fun and engaging, and I hope that you've taken away a few things that you can use in your classroom as well. So moving on, I'm going to show you a few different options within this tool base. So we're looking at originals now. So still here, we're looking at different GIFs, but you don't have to use these images. You can always go back and add YouTube videos whenever needed. So with that being said, we are going to move on to the next portion, which is game time. This is probably one of my favorite parts because now that we've gone through and hopefully learned a little bit of new features, you probably hopefully got all your questions in too. Now we get to make sure that you actually have a good grasp and understanding of what we've been talking about today. So what I'm going to do is I have this great little finch here, which is a fun little icon that I've pulled in from ViewSonic Originals. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the select tool to move him back over to the start line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask us a few questions, and I would love to see your answers in the chat box. We're going to use the math and science tool, the dice, which we saw earlier, and then also another hidden secret within the adorning menu, which I also really like, which is called the spinning wheel right here. So this is going to spin any selected objects, and a way to show you how we got to that again is we're going to use the select tool. We're going to select the object of our choice, which in this case is an arrow, happens to be on a spinning wheel, which is perfect. And we're going to use the spinner. So there's a lot of tools within the adorning menu that can really enhance the lessons. In this case, hopefully it's going to enhance our game. So with that being said, I'm going to ask our first question. Once you have the answer, feel free to put it in the chat box as soon as possible, and we're going to try to send this finch home to the finish line. All right. Very first question. What tool prevents a student from accidentally resizing a shape? Go ahead and put your answers within the chat. Movable lock. Perfect. Yep. Okay. So this is a great movable lock. Allows you to lock the aspect ratio, but you can actually move it around. If you were to use the lock button, you wouldn't be able to move it across your canvas. So movable lock it is. So let's go ahead and roll the dice. 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. I skipped a little bit. That's okay. All right. Another question. Get ready. You've already seen me make a lot of mistakes in this presentation. So if I want to use an undo or redo button, where is that located on the whiteboard? I'll give you 2 answers. Is it on the floating toolbar or the main toolbar? Main toolbar it is. Good job. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate the adorning menu. We're going to activate the adorning menu with the selected object, and we're going to spin to see what number we get the finch to. Ah, just 1. That's okay. Next question. Okay. Where is the hyperlink tool located? Where is the hyperlink tool located? Adorning menu, perfect. Let's roll the dice. 6, very nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, a couple more questions. Okay. Can you save files to cloud drives like Google Drive? Yes or no? Yes, perfect. Yep. So if you don't already have that available, we do have a knowledge base that teaches you how to set up your cloud drives. We'd be happy to share that with you if you need additional help. But for those of you who got it right, let's see how many spots we're going to move the Finch. Awesome. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next question. What tool allows me to move the canvas around? It allows me to zoom in and out, move left, right, down, up. I already just used it. What is that tool called? Infinite Canvas. Yes. So Infinite Canvas, again, is going to be this hand icon at the bottom of the main toolbar that I'm pointing to right now. That was a bad arrow. It is a hand. Always think about this. When you're using your view board, how do you interact with the canvas? You're using your hand and you're moving it across the canvas. The select tool would be able to actually select an object, which I'm doing now, but it doesn't allow me to move the actual canvas. So that's a good call. Let's see. Move the Finch back 1. Let's just put him there. Roll the dice. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we are so close. Okay. Last question, hopefully. What is one new thing you learned today, if any? What is one new thing you learned today? Everything. I love that. Infinite Canvas and Hyperlink. Lock. These are all great answers. Okay, awesome. There are so many different tools available within the whiteboard, and you really just have to spend time to get used to them, but hopefully you can join us on these webinars and we can make it a little bit easier on you so that you can figure out how to use all of these really great tools at your disposal with your new ViewBoard or whiteboard software. So that is fantastic. I hope that sends the Finch home. Those were all great answers. I'm glad to hear from all of you, but let's get to the end. Hopefully. Yes. And we finished. Awesome. So with that, that's the end of my portion. I had a lot of fun talking with all of you today. I hope you learned something. It sounds like we have a lot of opportunities to get together and learn a little bit more. But with that being said, I'm going to pass it over back to Ruben because I think he has a very exciting announcement. So with that, thank you all.
Awesome, Haley. Thank you so much. And please, folks, again, more loud of emoticon applauses in the chat. Thank you, Haley, so much, honestly, through navigating us throughout today's lesson plan. So awesome. Thank you, everybody, honestly. And so you perhaps may have seen my chats there. So essentially, we are looking for 3 more replies into our comments so that we can unlock 2 drawings. So we're hoping you can take a minute of reflection so that way we get to hear from you ultimately. What is it that you took away? Love that you guys noted it in the Zoom chat, but take that step and actually use the platform as it's designed to, right? To be able to interact with us. And this gives us, again, more visibility on what it is that you're looking to learn more. And so that way you can produce more webinars very similar to this one. So I invite you all to take a moment. So this is reflection time, if you will. And let's get to 10. Let's get to 10 at the very minimum so that we can unlock 2 drawings, which I will be doing just a couple minutes before we close our webinar. And 2, hopefully 2, lucky winners will get a chance to win a $25 Amazon gift card that they'll receive tonight. So there is no delays on that. So we are looking for more responses. I'm refreshing my page as we speak, and I'm going to take a look to see if we got to that 10. And it looks like some existing community members already replying to other folks. And you know what? They're boosting up those numbers. So let's see if we can get to 10. So I'm going to further share another announcement that I spoke about earlier, which was the ambassador program. And so highly invite you all to take a look at our ambassador program. I'm actually going to go ahead and put the link there for people to review. If you like what you saw and you think you yourself can do some of these teachings and webinar practices with other community members, well, frankly, we're looking for you, right? Ultimately, we want to see you in action, ultimately, because at the end of the day, it's great to showcase it, but we want to see you all doing it in your classroom so that way we can help and support, lend that hand, if you will, that community hand. And ultimately, we want to be able to celebrate the work that you're already doing. So again, anything that's going to boost that knowledge. And forgive me, I keep looking up because I'm trying to see if we got to that marker. And it looks like we are, OMG, it looks like we are needing one more reply. So we're just down to one more reply. And let's see if we can engage. Now it looks like we've got some existing members. So it's going to definitely make this very exciting with a high probability chance. So we're looking for one more reply so that we can unlock 2 drawings. And to the questions that have been posed, yes, we will be recording this and it will be posted onto the same banner post. So that way you have reference of it and it will be located on the very top where all our event posts. So we're looking for one more reply. If anyone, even if it's an existing member, wants to go ahead and comment in somebody else's chat, feel free to do so and we'll unlock that drawing, if you will. So we're just waiting. So we're just waiting for any community member. And I just heard that ding. So I'm going to refresh my page, see if it came through. And oh yes, it came through loud and clear. Awesome. That's the power of the collective, which I got to say, this is the best part, is to see folks already culminating and chatting. And I hear more rings. Fantastic. I want to make sure I get everybody. So let's see here. I'm going to refresh. All right. Excellent, folks. So yay. All right. And it looks like somebody just signed up for our ambassador program. Fantastic. I love it. So let me go ahead and make sure that I've got everybody because I'm going to do the wheel of names in just a short few minutes here. Let's see here. All right. All right. I appreciate everyone's patience. It looks like we've got everyone. Just want to make sure. Okay. Oh, there's some more. So I'm going to hold on tight. I want to make sure I get everybody so that I'm not missing anyone here. You all have done it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now so that we can do our drawing. Okay, and remember the instructions are to put it into this banner here. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that everybody can see what I mean. And again, for those that are still with us, you have that opportunity to still do this before I even go ahead into spinning the wheel mode here. So let me go ahead and share my desktop. All right. All right, fantastic. So this is our community, if you will, and this is the forum under the USA and Canada, and this is our event post. And so all the comments and replies, we're looking for your thoughts, and so this is where we're looking for you to navigate. And so we've got some community members already replying to one another. I love seeing the interaction. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the wheel of names onto this separate tab, and I'm going to go ahead and spin that wheel so that we can pick a winner. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and spin the wheel. So for those that are moderating, please, if you don't mind giving me some drum roll emoticons. And until I see our emoticons, I won't begin. So I need our moderators to give me some drum rolls. I don't see it. I don't hear it. If I see it, I can already play the sound effects in my head. So let's see here. All right. There they are. There they are. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, community folks. All right, I see it. I think you guys are ready. Let's do this thing. And we're spinning the wheel. Fingers crossed. Who is it? Who is it? Who is it? Oh, it's down to the line. And congratulations to our first winner. So if you're a winner here, please take a bow, show us some hearts onto the emoticon. OMG, we got Vanessa. All right. So you're a first winner. But folks, we are going to do another drawing because the power of the collective is truly alive and real when it comes to education. So we don't do this work alone. We obviously need support. So we are going to do it again. Okay. One more drawing. So here we go. I need some drum roll. Oh, there we go. I love Kathy. Kathy's already got the drum rolls ready. I see a few drum rolls there. Let's get some more drum rolls because this is our last but not least drawing here. So let's get some more. Let's see, moderators. I can't hear you. I can't see you. Okay, fantastic. All right, thank you, thank you. Let's do it again. Oh, somebody put some bongos in there. I love it. All right, here we go. And 3, 2, 1. We're gonna spin that wheel. Here we go. Here we go. And who is it gonna land on? And it's Dr. Perez. Fantastic. Dr. Perez, congratulations. You are our final winner. And thank you so much, folks, for joining us. Again, we've got one more installment. You will see that post coming up later this week if you want to join us for our next session, which will take place next month. But in the interim, we wish you happy holidays. And I know the break is coming around the corner for folks. Travel safe. You will get an email reminder of the recording. So in case you missed some of it or want to share it with other friends and family, what have you, that would make good use of learning more about our software, please do so. And until next time, we appreciate you all. Stay safe, be good to one another, and we'll look forward to the next one. All right, folks, take care. Thank you.